A new year means a fresh start in the market and pretty much everywhere. We are looking at what I believe will be the best year for crypto. We started 2021 with a total crypto market cap of over $773 billion. Now a year has passed and we are sitting at a total crypto market cap of over $2 trillion. We ended the year with potentially the largest category in all of crypto that will ever exist just starting to trend. Crypto gaming, aka the metaverse. A lot of profit was made towards the last quarter of the year, which may leave a lot of people asking, is there more to go? And if there is, how do you make the most out of it? Well, you have come to the right place for answers. Welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Crypto Lewis. Sit down, relax, grab your pen and paper, and start taking notes. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this because it helps me out and allows other people like you to benefit from this information. Alright, first you have to realize that the crypto market is risky. Nothing is guaranteed and the market moves very quickly. So you have to be prepared and quick. If you want to make 15, 20, 50, 100x gains, the strategy is not holding forever. If you're new in crypto and have no idea how to start or what you're doing, I recommend that you watch my first video. There I will explain all the tools you need to use and what to do to find profitable coins. Like I mentioned in that video, the only way to get those crazy 20x gains is not through the top 100 coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana. It's through the very small market cap coins. Now you might be saying, Lewis, 20 to 100x gains sounds too good to be true. What's the catch? Well, like I mentioned, the market is extremely risky, and the deeper that you go into these ecosystems and categories, the more volatile and risky it gets. You have the chances of finding fake projects and underperforming projects. That's why before actually trading a coin, you should carefully and deeply research them. If you aren't aware, a lot of these very small or microcap coins are not available in your traditional exchanges like Coinbase, Crypto.com, and many others. In order to trade these small cap coins, you will need to create a crypto wallet, which I'm not going to explain how to do in this video, but there are many videos that explain how to do that. Today, I will just explain how to find coins that have a good projection in the short term for quick, big gains and how to trade them. So, we have an idea of what will most likely be the most popular category for many years to come. However, just because it will continue to grow over the years does not mean that every project that is created will be successful in the long run. Better ones will come out over time and the ones that were created earlier will be forgotten. That's why when it comes to small projects, we don't want to hold them. Instead, we want to understand and analyze the way the market is moving to know when to enter and exit a coin. In order to do that, we must look at the movement of the biggest coin in the market, Bitcoin. We all know that Bitcoin at this very moment is what moves the whole market. I don't think it'll always be that way. I think that Ethereum will eventually flip over Bitcoin and start moving the market, but right now, it is Bitcoin. Bitcoin makes the move first. Whether it is up or down, it moves first. The rest of the market moves in a sort of delayed way. The top 100 coins move within 30 minutes to an hour of Bitcoin's movement, but the microcap coins move within weeks of Bitcoin's movement. Now, why is that? Well, because that's how everyone trades. People go from Bitcoin to Ethereum to altcoins, and finally all the way to microcap coins. This is pretty much written on stone. It has happened time and time again without fail. So how do you time it? Well, instead of making microcap coins your last resort like others do, you make it your first, depending on how Bitcoin is moving. Let's look at some examples. Here we have the Bitcoin chart. We have the moments where it's gone up throughout the whole year. This is the yearly chart. We have the moments where it's gone up, the moments where it's had its downfalls, and then it's gone back up again. Now, in order to see how it has moved the rest of the market with it, let's look at an example like Axie Infinity. We see throughout the whole year, Axie Infinity was pretty solid. It was definitely getting a lot of gains from 57 cents during this time right here of the explosion that Bitcoin was having around that same time, right? We saw Axie Infinity go from 57 cents to a high of $10.85. That's a lot more than, that's like around 20x right there, right? So clearly we see it was moving with the market, and it continues to move with the market. Now, during that time, it had a burst right here in April 28th. When we look at April 28th, that was around the time that Bitcoin had a nice little dump right here. It kind of maintained itself, and then after that, on the 10th of March, or May, my bad, the end of May, well, actually the beginning of May, 10th of May, it dumped, and we can see it kind of moved with the market there as well. Now, throughout this downtime, just like Bitcoin was in its downtime right here, everything was kind of accumulating. Kind of like probably what we're seeing right now. We're in that accumulation time period. So everything was accumulating, and we were just waiting, right? But we already had a nice, still from the beginning point, we were a couple of x's high. We were like around 10 x's. So, I mean, probably about 8x around here. Then, 626, we start seeing some movement upwards. 626 over here, Bitcoin hadn't even been moving. Why are we seeing movement even though Bitcoin isn't moving? Well, it's because of that same exact point that I was getting to. Bitcoin, then people move on to Ethereum, then people move on to the altcoins, then to the smaller cap coins. That's the last method. I mean, like, look, what did we have? Two months or like a month of just nothing happening to that coin, right? Nothing was happening throughout this whole time, and then it just explodes. Now it moves very closely to the market because now it's one of the top 100 coins. Now it's moving very closely to Bitcoin. But around this time, when it was a very small market cap coin, I mean, like if we look at the market cap, it was only a market cap of 200 million around here, 300 million, 500 million, then it starts growing 1 billion, 2 billion, and now it's a 5 billion at this moment, but it's moving a lot closer to Bitcoin. But at the time, over here, it wasn't. So people moved into Axie Infinity already over here. This whole time period, from this drop all the way until Axie Infinity started moving again, people were getting into Ethereum, into the altcoins. And then in the end, finally they reached Axie Infinity. We can see the same thing with the sandbox. But this one was during this last pump, right? After May and the fall of June, July, all those stages. Then on the 25th, it actually started going explosive, parabolic from here. The 26th, what was it? 26th of October, we were in the peak of Bitcoin. We were in a peak. Now people see that we are at a peak. We're just kind of chilling there. We're not really doing a lot of movement. So we go down. We go to something a little bit lower, right? And that's when they reach a smaller cap coin, which is, I mean, at the time it was 700 million. That's not very, very small like what Axie Infinity was. I mean, over here it was around that same part, but you see this kind of growing. During the first pump, there was some kind of growth. It did 10x there. And then we saw even more over time. So it was already prepared. What we want to try to analyze and what we want to try doing is now getting in earlier before this movement happens. We see that despite Bitcoin being stuck here, not really doing any movement, not going any higher, not going much lower, Sandbox still decided to do a very nice 10x almost. Yeah, it did a 10x. Even though Bitcoin was doing nothing, right? And over here, there's 1124. Bitcoin was already falling. Why did it even go higher? Because of the exact same thing I'm telling y'all. People go from Bitcoin to Ethereum. Okay, Bitcoin is falling. Let's go into Ethereum. They pump it up. Ethereum's falling. All right, let's move into the altcoins. Everything moves delayed, right? Bitcoin pumped. All right, that means that these altcoins are going to pump in about 2 weeks because people are going to be moving down the line. And that's exactly what happened. Even though Bitcoin was falling, Sandbox decided to peak while Bitcoin was falling. And the same can be said about even smaller cap coins, which these are even riskier than what the Sandbox is now. I mean, the Sandbox isn't that risky anymore. It's now moving with the market because it's a $5 billion market cap. Same thing with Axie Infinity. But now let's look at the really small market caps. Polka City, this isn't actually their market cap. I think it's probably 60 million, which is still pretty small. But if we look at this whole scenario, we saw that Polka City at one point made it all the way to 250. This is one that I invested into. Made it all the way to 250 at one point, then dropped. So there was definitely a lot of movement happening since this time right here. So let's look back. Polka City. There was some momentum here during the time that Bitcoin started going up right here. This was around this time. Bitcoin was at its peak. Polka City was like, all right, looking good. And then the 27th, right here, right? The 28th of October, we're still just chilling up here. It decides to absolutely just go back up to its peak. I think it made it all the way to 280 at one point. 280 drops, and we're over here in the 17th, 20th. Bitcoin is already still not dropped. I mean, it's starting to drop. Yeah, it's starting to drop. And then people are starting to climb down the ladder again. Ethereum, altcoins, they reach those micro caps. They get into Polka City and boom, it explodes again, and then it all falls. So you want to get in to the micro caps during this period. Right here, when it's a firm statement that we're going up, that Bitcoin is going up. That's when you want to get in here. That's why I'm not getting into any microcap coins right now, because Bitcoin is still in this stage. There still hasn't been this nice little movement, right? As soon as I see something like this again, this movement upwards, then I'll invest into microcap coins, because I know they're not going to move right now. They're going to have their little movement. They're going to have this little thing right here. They might have that. But this is the bigger picture. I might not get it down here, but if I get it over here, I'm still fine. I'm not making them literally the perfect bottom, but I told you, you're not going to get the perfect bottom. And you're not going to get the perfect exit. So once things start going crazy, you start taking profit here, here, here during this whole situation here, and then you let it drop. You're not going to get the perfect top. You're not going to exit right here or here. It's almost impossible. If you do, congratulations, but that's not 100% guaranteed. And we can see the same thing with D-Race. The same thing, another one that I truly love, had its momentum. It's been pretty much going up only for the whole year, right? But during this time, 1121, 1126, Bitcoin is down. Bitcoin is going down during that time. But because it's delayed, this is basically happening right now. So you want to get in early. You want to get in over here, right? Or over here, or over here, wherever. Right, depending on when you started seeing that movement, you would have gotten in at a good time and you would have been doing just fine. What I will say is that the hardest thing to do in these situations is to take profit, because you may be thinking that it can go higher, but in order to survive in the market, you must think logically and throw emotion out the door, because emotion will 100% make you lose in this market. You will never regret taking profit, even if it goes higher sooner or later. One thing you need to realize is that no one has ever or will ever time the market to perfection. You will never buy at the perfect bottom, and you will never exit at the perfect top. So in every situation, it's better to leave the party early than late. If you have made good profit, take it and leave. If you do this consistently, you can reinvest your gains into other coins and 15x that, and so on and so forth. I have a full guide of how to do research to find the coins that will do well on my first video on the channel, which you can click on right here. And that is all I have to say to you guys today in this video. Hopefully you found it helpful and entertaining, and if you did, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I'll see you all in the next video.